Um, so I did it again. I've been presenting. I've been presenting this whole time to no one because I forgot to click go live. I apologize. This is not the first time I've done this, but I hope it's the last. And I apologize, but I just delivered a really solid 10 minutes of instruction. Um, with that being said, I'll go back to the beginning and I'll start it over. I am so sorry. I just came back to check the comments to make sure you could hear me and see my screen, and I realized I never clicked go live. So I apologize in advance. Hi, Cosmita. Hi, Shannon. Hi, Laura. Hi, Becky. Hi, Karen. Hi, Rosa. Hi, Tara. I am so sorry for doing 10 minutes of silence for you guys. I gotta get better at that. I'm gonna put a little post-it on my computer and say, click the button. This is the second time I've done this. Okay, so if you can hear me and see my screen, if you could just let me know. Okay, Lois says LOL, so I'm assuming you can hear me. Again, I apologize, and now I'm gonna dive right in. I am very sorry for that. Let me go back to the very beginning of this. Um, man, July is almost over. I still have all of August to do these. I gotta get better at clicking that button. So thank you for waiting. Again, I'm sorry for obviously starting very late. You're here because we're going to talk about delivering feedback digitally. So we're going to rethink the red pen, and red pen is a little nod to like when we were in school and our teachers uses the red pen to mark up our papers and give us a different kind of feedback that maybe we are not able to do while we're remote learning or while we're hybrid learning or just learning in 2020. So if you're looking for more learning opportunities, you can go to virtualtinyurl.com/virtualpd20. Research shows that technology can boost student engagement with feedback. So this suggests that changing the process by which feedback is made available to students can increase their attention, engagement, and follow through. So today we're going to explore a few tools and tips for incorporating digital feedback, but it's really important to remember that the feedback should be appropriate, frequent, and actionable. Incorporating the building blocks of effective feedback is no small task, but technology may enable us to have more opportunities to do just that. And these are some of those building blocks of effective feedback. So just it being 2020 and we're just totally oversaturated. But then on top of the fact that we're online learning or hybrid learning or whatever we're doing, there's obviously an incredible increase in technology for both students and teachers. And sometimes we're just too buried in tools. I mean, I'm pretty tech savvy and there's just way too many tools. So I think it's really helpful, especially as we get ready to enter a new school year, to take a step back and eliminate some of the extras. So instead of going for the flash, remember the device is just a tool like a pencil. It's what you can do with it that's more important. So think about what, as a district, we're requiring of teachers. So for example, they've asked us in grades 3 through 12 to have Google Classroom. That's how we're going to be delivering content. So that's where we really have to start and build out from there. I truly recommend just focusing on the Google apps and then building out if necessary, but we have so many opportunities right there. And most of these tools all do the same thing anyway. So I really recommend we focus on a few. And today, that's what I plan to do. So I have a few tools and skills that I want to work on, but these are all things that are already asked for by the district. So I'm not going to throw anything extra at you. Just some ideas for you to increase your digital feedback. So again, I've already been working on this, so you're going to see things that I had to set up perfectly for you, and I presented it to absolutely no one for 10 minutes straight. So I'm just going to go back to the beginning and try this again. So an easy little way to give like kind of a virtual sticker, and there are plenty of programs to create your own virtual stickers, and I know kids love that kind of thing. But think about if you were commenting on a student's Google Doc or their Google slide deck, and something that the kids use a lot are GIFs and memes. I sound so old when I say like the kids these days, but they truly do like speak GIF, meme, and emoji. And maybe you want to give them some feedback with a GIF. So let's say like this is the one I want to use. This is really cool with Google. So I just did a Google search. I typed in awesome GIF or GIF if you pronounce it wrong. Um, don't come for me in the comments. I swear the guy who invented GIFs calls it a GIF. So that's who I decided to go with. Okay, good. I'm making sure nobody's coming for me yet, but I feel like there might be a delay. Um, so let's say I found this GIF, and my student Becky, she did a really excellent job on this essay, which is invisible. But pretend she did a great job, and I was going to write some stuff to her, but I wanted to like make it a little bit fun. I know she's a big Simon Cowell fan, so I found this GIF. Look how cool this is. Instead of like saving it and uploading it and doing whatever with, I can simply click on the GIF, and I'm holding my cursor, my mouse, like what is that called? Button down. So I clicked it and I'm holding it. And now I'm going to drag up to that tab, and then I just pull it down and drop it in there. So I went really slow because I wanted you to see the process. But like, let's say this is the GIF I want to use. I could just click, hold, bring it to that tab and drop it in there. So I could easily give some like digital GIFs and memes and fun stuff just by clicking, dragging, and dropping. I'm not doing any saving or anything extra. I feel like that's very cool. I only found that out recently. You guys probably already knew that, but I think that is a really cool thing, and I feel like the kids would probably get a kick out of it. So the next thing I want to talk about is Google Docs, which I know we're all familiar with. Let me get rid of my comments and stuff. So we're all familiar with Google Docs. Now, if you're giving assignments and stuff in Google Classroom, maybe you're having them generate a copy of the doc, or maybe they're all editing one. But there's a few things we can do to give feedback and collaborate on a document, not just with our students, with our peers too. So one of the first things we could do is simply just add a comment. So if there's something I wanted to comment on, I could highlight and I could say, um, need to know ASAP, and add a comment. And then maybe someone who's working with me on this could reply to me and do whatever else. And when something's resolved, they simply click the check and resolve it. You can also see a log of all of your comments in the upper right-hand area of the screen by clicking on this little speech bubble. And here's our comment history. And maybe that this was resolved and I didn't get an answer to it. So I'm going to reopen it just so that they can see my comment there too. I'll just resolve it again. I just wanted to show you the reopening feature. So comments are pretty simple to do. Another thing I want to show you is that you can assign it as a task. So let's say this is something I need someone else to do. I can highlight it and then click on this speech bubble. And now to assign it to somebody, I can type plus and then start typing the person's name. Let's say I'm going to assign it to Gloria. I simply click this checkbox and I'm going to assign it to her. And so now in her drive, you see how here we have these little like symbols, like here's two little gray people. What it looks like in your Google Drive is it'll be like a gray circle with a number in it. So you'll know there's a task you have to do in that doc or in that folder. So that's how it kind of alerts you to that. And also if you're just sharing it with someone, it obviously sends them a message as well. Hopefully they have their Gmail forwarded to their Outlook at this point. So I'm going to resolve that just to get it out of the way. So those are two things. We commented, we assigned. Another thing you can do is give suggestions. So if you don't see this little pencil in the upper right-hand area below the share button, if you don't see that, it's because your screen is probably like zoomed in. So I can't remember what it looks like. It's either 3 dots here or there's like an arrow pointing down. You have to click on it to expand your menu a little bit more, this toolbar at the top. And then you want to look for this pencil right here. So right now I'm in editing mode. That means I can go and type in whatever I want. I can do whatever I want with it, but there are other modes as well. So next to this little pencil, I'm going to click that drop down arrow, and I see that I can switch to suggesting mode or viewing mode. Viewing mode means nobody can edit, they can just look at it, but I'm going to go to suggesting. So I always call this like the equivalent of the modern day red pen, because with this, I'm a teacher. I'm not making these changes. I'm just suggesting these changes. And I keep saying it's like teacher student, but truly it could be if you're just working with other people on something as well, other professionals. So let's say I want them to delete this, and maybe I want them to change September to August. Oh, I can't spell. And I want them to add an exclamation point there. Like maybe I made some changes. So what it looks like from the other people's end, you can still see all of the changes that they've made. See how they're in green and they have their suggestions. And then you can see every single individual suggestion on the right. So I can say, do I want to accept this one? Yeah, I'll accept that. That's a good idea. We probably should delete this sentence. I'm going to accept it. And maybe I don't like it. I could click the X and deny that change. Or maybe I want to comment. Why? So I can give suggestions and have an entire conversation that way too. Now, there's one more thing that you might not know about in Google Docs, and this is something I use all the time. It's called Moat. So if you're unfamiliar with Moat, um, it's a Google Chrome extension, and I'm going to walk you through that in a second. So I actually when I was thinking about what I wanted to show you folks today, I just did a random Google search for the word moat, and I realized it is an actual word. And I loved the definition because it's a tiny piece of a substance. And what I love about it is it literally lets you give a tiny piece of substance when you're commenting on a Google Doc, a slide, a sheet, or any of the Google apps. So it's going to let you record your voice and give feedback to someone. Also, I need to apologize for a second because you might hear a lot of background noise. My oldest is 4 and she does not take naps, so the TV is on. It's currently babysitting her. I did apologize in the first 10 minutes, but I realized I was talking to myself. So this is just a second apology. All right, so I'm going to show you guys Moat real fast. So you can either open a new tab and go to Chrome Web Store, or you can click on this little apps waffle here and open the Chrome Web Store, whatever works for you. Google has like 25 different ways to do every single thing. It's actually kind of annoying sometimes. So I opened the Chrome Web Store, and then just as a user, I would search for Moat. I already have it installed. See how it says rate it here, and it has this little added flag. But if I didn't have it installed, I could have just clicked this blue button. This is add to Chrome. So I have it added to Chrome right here. I don't even have to do anything with it. Once I add it to Chrome, it's automatically just part of everything I do. So when I click these comments, you'll notice I have this purple circle with this fancy little M in it every time I'm on it. So let me show you what it does. Let's say I wanted to comment on this. I click on that circle, and now it's going to start recording my voice. So I can say, can you describe why it's brilliant and what was well done about it? I have a lot of questions, and I would love some more specific feedback. When I'm done, I obviously click done. As you can see with that little countdown clock, I have 1 minute and 30 seconds, I think, to record. So it automatically generates this link. I'm going to comment. And now this is what it looks like. I can press play on that circle, and now it's going to start recording my voice. So I can say, can you describe why it's brilliant? So I can give 1 minute and 30 seconds describing it, and it does give me this transcript too. Sometimes they're not great because I do talk pretty fast, but actually it's not that bad because I forgot I was talking before I clicked record. So I can add these little recordings as additional feedback. And sometimes it's just really nice to hear people's voices. I know that probably sounds funny, but I've been really reflecting on like what I've experienced since mid-March. And frankly, I cannot, I just would love a week to just turn off all devices and sit in like a dark screen-free room. But with that being said, it might be nice to get a little break. So whether we're doing a video or a voice recording, it's nice to mix it up. Speaking of video, Screencastify is an extension I talk about a lot, and I use it for all my screen recording. And I recommend it for giving feedback too. So maybe your kids are doing something differently. Maybe they did this Google slide deck and you want to give them some feedback. You could easily come to Screencastify and record yourself. I'm going to choose the entire screen. And you could record yourself talking through your feedback. So you could say, I really like that you did the title slide. Can you actually link the article to this picture? And can you expand upon why these building blocks are so important? I could walk through and give them actual feedback. And then I'm just going to stop sharing now. Really like that you did the title slide. Can you actually link? So now I have this video, and I could easily share it to Classroom, or I could just go to my Google Drive and I could share it directly to the person or send it via email too. So Screencastify, even though it's something we think about doing like instructionally, it's really a great tool to personalize what we're giving them as well. So real quick, I want to make sure I get through everything, and I truly feel so bad about making you guys wait. So I'm going to actually pull up a form. Let me just pull up a registration form. So here's an example of a Google form that I have, and I'm sure you have plenty for assessments or for anything else. I'm going to click this little pencil. And I've talked a lot about forms and being able to make them interactive activities too, because they don't just have to be for like some kind of graded quiz or test, but something that you can actually do is give feedback. So I'm going to like click on this one. And if I were to make this a quiz, which I'll do right now, I'm going to click this little settings icon and turn this into a quiz. And if you're unfamiliar with this, you should go back to join the App Academy. And we have like 3 different Google Forms options to learn in less than a half hour. And there's also a self-paced course. I think it was released July 1st that Justin Dodge put together. So something that's really cool, I made this a quiz. I could click answer key. And then I can actually add feedback. So I can say like, for every incorrect answer, like send them to this link or send them to this video. So maybe I recorded a video that explains incorrect answers, or maybe I could add a video that's like, I don't know, who sings Celebrate Good Times Come? Is it Casey and the Sunshine Band? I might have made that up, but I could add a link to that video saying we're celebrating this happy answer. So you can give immediate feedback that way too. So the kids just know where they stand. I mean, kids or adults, really, let's face it. The next thing I want to talk about is just Google Calendar real fast. So my personal account, let me switch to my work account. So something that's pretty cool with Google Calendar, and because we are still a Microsoft district as well, we have 2 different platforms, which sometimes like complicates a lot of things. But you have a lot of options with Google Calendar, and I want to show you a few right now that will really help you to personalize a lot of content and meet with your kids individually. So, for example, I'll show you this one right here. So here's a calendar event. This SEL and EdTech, this was something that I scheduled in Google Calendar. So I just came and I clicked on a date and I scheduled something and went through that whole process. Now, when you go to schedule something, if you click Add Google Meet Video Conferencing, it automatically generates a Google Meet room for you. So I can see right here, I generated this room already. So then anybody that I invited, whoever signed up for it, could have just come here and clicked this button and they'd automatically be in the Google Meet. But here's what's really cool too. Do you see this? It gave them a recording of that session. So they could easily, maybe they were half paying attention, maybe their kids were screaming in the background, they could easily open up the recording. It's logged right there. So, I mean, this is an example of PD. So in this case, like we've already linked it for you, but you have it permanently in your Google Calendar if you accepted that invite. So it's automatically generated for you. But something that I love, if we want to make things personal and we want to give like face-to-face feedback and really talk to individuals or even small groups, we have this ability with our Google accounts to create appointment slots. So let's say that my students are starting September 3rd. And I want to meet let's pretend, now this is not real, but let's pretend we're 100% online. And I want to meet every single student on September 3rd. I want to have a 5-minute conversation with them. I could say, meet your teacher. Sorry. I'm going to say right here, meet your teacher. And now, do you see this option for appointment slots? If I click on that, I can customize when am I available. So let's say on September 3rd, I'm going to work from 8 a.m. to 3 p.m. And I just want to do this on September 3rd. So 8 to 3 on September 3rd. I want them to come meet me. I'm going to say, let's do like 30-minute slots, because even though I just want to chat for a few minutes, I don't want to have to go back to back. I want to take breaks in between. So I'm going to keep it a 30-minute slot. And then I can customize what calendar it is too. So like maybe I want to change it. I have a Google Classroom called, let's say that this is for my Google App Academy class. So I could click save. Now, if I give anybody, here's the appointment page. I'm going to click back on that event and go to the appointment page. So look at this. So you have to go to September 3rd. On September 3rd, I could easily just paste this link, copy it, paste it to my Google Classroom or send it in an email, put it on my teacher website, whatever. I can give them this link and then they would come here and they would say, you know what, I'm not a morning person, so I'm going to aim for like right here. I'd like to get the 1 o'clock slot. I come here, I can say, my name is George Washington. I'm going to save it. So that slot is claimed. Maybe another student comes on. I'm Emmanuel Miranda. That spot is claimed. The kids could go claim the spots, parents, whoever you're working with. So these are all claimed. Now on my calendar, see how when somebody claims it, it automatically becomes events. So now these spots that are open, kids can keep claiming them. And then when there's no more left, they just won't appear. And then they'll just appear on my calendar. So I can click on this. I'm going to edit it even further. And I'm going to say, I'll give him a private room. So now the kid knows they can come just click on this box and go to Google Meet. Or, I mean, you could always do that. What I've been doing since March is just the open office hours. That's up to you. But I feel like that's a pretty cool option to be able to utilize. Okay. Let me make sure I got through most of my list at least. Yeah, I mean, I feel like that's the bulk of what I wanted to do. I apologize about the first 10 seconds. Oh, great question, Tara. So if you have questions, throw them in the chat right now. I realize it's after 1:30, so I will forgive you if you want to get out of here. Tara asked the question, do students need to have the Moat extension on their computers as well in order for it to work? The answer is no. If they don't have the extension on their computer, it will actually give them a link, and they'll have to click the link, and it'll take them to a page to play the recording. But they don't have to sign in or do anything special. With that being said, kids can install extensions on their school computer, on their home computer, whatever. They are able to install extensions. What I would do if I wanted to add them would be just to email help desk to make sure that it's on the student approved list. But the cool thing about extensions is they just stick with you. So any device you log in, my extensions, all of these things at the top, they just go with me. So yeah. That's a really good question. Another question is from Laura. Are you recording this? Yes, Laura, this will be just on the YouTube link. So you can click on it and watch it, tonight. Probably. No, you can watch it whenever you want. You can share it. Anybody who's here right now, I obviously see who's here. So you guys will get PD certs by the end of the day today. But then anybody who watches this not live, I'll put a link just like we have for the other sessions. I'll put a link to a Google form so they can actually complete that to get a cert as well. And I can't remember if I said this in the first 10 minutes or I said it after, but if you are just getting started with this stuff, you can do any of these in your own time. Just make sure you finish the activities that we asked for by August 31st. And then all PD certs are sent by September 4th. So you can do all the summer stuff. I really did want to mention again, I keep inventing words. I really did want to say again about the Google App Academy that we were offering. It's 7 weeks long with a 40-minute live session every week and an activity, but you can do it at your own pace. And we really do go through every single Google app. So that might be something worth visiting too. Any other questions? I'm just checking out the chat right now. All right. Well, thank you for your patience. I'm so glad you guys waited that first 10 minutes. I apologize. Yeah, thank you for your patience. Thank you for being here. And I hope you're having a happy, healthy summer. And I hope to see you soon, whether it's in person or on the computer. I really appreciate everyone's willingness to learn during this time. I know we really all need a break, but I'm really grateful that you're all here. So thank you for being here, and watch for those PD certs if you're watching live by the end of the day today. If not, you'll have to complete the questions on the form and you'll get them before September 4th. Thanks for watching, everyone.